Hey, I want to welcome you to Coffee with Keller. This week, I have an incredible guest joining us. This is kind of the new norm. So normally what I do with Coffee with Keller is I have a meetup right here in my office every single Friday for local real estate professionals and mortgage professionals. And I just bring powerful, impactful information to you as much as I can, whether it be marketing or business building tips. I'm coached professionally in the core. So a lot of the tactics that I bring are from things that I'm implementing right now, or real estate professionals and mortgage professionals that I know are implementing. And today I have probably one of my favorite human beings in regards to people that I admire. I've admired Ben Wilson from afar over the last 3 years. He's a man of faith. He's a family man. He's a very successful real estate professional in the state of Tennessee. And one of the things that really stood out with me as I got to know Ben over the last 3 years is he has a passion for financially educating his clients. And most real estate agents don't necessarily do that. They lean on mortgage professionals or financial planners to do that. So what I wanted to do today, I know we are in crazy times right now. It's April 30th, 2020. We're right in the middle of this COVID crisis. So I wanted to bring Ben in to share a couple of tactics, a couple of things that he's doing right now personally and professionally to stay the course, and then have Ben share some advice that he's coaching his real estate agents and coaching agents, as he is a professional coach as well. Some advice that he's giving right now. So, hey, Ben, welcome to Coffee with Keller.
Love it, man. I love it. I really appreciate you bringing this to the table for your realtors. I think something like this from a lender is super special. Anytime a lender is willing to continue to invest into people that they care about in their industry through information, I think is a beautiful thing. And when you choose to combine information with a relationship, it's even better. And that's what I see you doing. And that's really special because not all lenders are that way.
Yeah.
From that respect, I know you and I haven't spent a lot of time with each other. We haven't got to know each other at a deep level. I hope that in the future we can do that. I know up until this point, we've been able to admire one another from afar. So I really appreciate you having me on board.
You got it, man. Yeah, this is going to be fun. And we're going to keep this to less than 15 minutes. And what I'm going to do real quick, I would love for you, anytime I bring someone in to speak at Coffee with Keller or bring them through Zoom, I would like you to give the intro from a credibility standpoint, just so my attendees, my real estate professionals that are watching this kind of know what you're up to in Tennessee in regards to 2019 production and then your current production right now.
You got it. And so I'm going to preface all this by saying that nothing I'm going to share with you is to impress you or to impress your realtors, but to impress upon you that if you put systems and you put the right people around you and the right team around you, anything's possible.
Yeah. And
that's what I want to share with you. So 2019, just a quick snapshot. We did just a little bit over 300 transactions for just shy of $100 million.
Wow.
Very, very simple. And I have a team of 15 people. I have 8 producing agents, and then I have 7 full-time support staff. So that's the model. We're based on, we're in one of the bedroom communities just outside of Nashville, an area called Mount Juliet, which is really 15 minutes from downtown Nashville. So it's a suburb in this day and age, but it is a bedroom community of Nashville. And so we're very fortunate that we get to live so close to Nashville and get all the benefits, but we still have that hometown, small town feel, which is very good. Year to date, we've done about 45 million year to date, and we are just blown away at what this year has provided us. We just finished up our biggest and largest from a production standpoint first quarter that we've ever had. And I think that has to do with my team and the people that I have on my team. Last year, or really 2 years ago, I had a cleansing where I got some negativity out of my team. I got some bad apples out of my team that were high producers, and I was scared. But I brought in some new fresh blood and fresh energy and good energy. And I will tell you this, that it has paid major dividends already this year.
Yeah.
I was telling you a little bit earlier that year to date, you know, and going through this whole COVID thing, there's just all these beautiful new norms. And an average month for us is somewhere between $8.5 to $10 million in production that we get under contract. And over the last 4 weeks, we've done a little over $16.5 million under contract, which is just mind blowing. I was talking to Dayton Schrader, which is another beautiful coach and another great realtor, one of my mentors yesterday. And I was telling him, I can't explain it. I don't understand it. But what I do know is numbers never lie to me, just people do. And so from that respect, I'm super pumped. And once again, from a numbers perspective, none of the things I just shared with you is to impress you, but just to impress upon you what can happen with the right people around you.
Yeah, one of the things that you shared with me as we were getting ready to jump on this call, though, is you've been in real estate for would you say since 2000, early 2000s or before?
2003.
2003. And you were saying that you guys are pretty, when you shared these numbers with me, I was like, good grief, these are amazing numbers. And you were explaining kind of to the real estate agents up here in Seattle how you were explaining that you guys have encountered some pretty wicked storms in Tennessee, and you just you stay the course and you have the ability to do that. Let's talk about that.
So prior to 2003, I was actually an investor in real estate. So I was still in the real estate world and have been in the real estate world since 99. So for us, we've had, let's just kind of take it chronologically. 2001, we had 9/11, right? 2008, 2009, we had the big recession, right? We step into 2010, we had one of the biggest, most devastating floods in Nashville that Nashville's ever seen, right? Then we step up, and not 5 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago, we had a tornado just come through and devastate. It hit over 55-mile stretch that this tornado ran, which is just ridiculous, you know. And so that comes in with complete devastation, and then followed back up the next week where we closed down our entire state, right? To where all the social distancing shut down most of the businesses, at least from being able to go into their brick and mortar. And so I look at all of these scenarios and what transpired during those times, and then what took place after those times. And during those times, we didn't have the complete devastation like other parts of the country have had. You know, you've seen Detroit get murdered. You've seen places like Las Vegas just get destroyed, and Arizona and Texas. We just didn't see that. Yep. And then, but what we did see is a rally of people come back and then follow it up with some of the greatest times in our economic set out and setting that we've ever had. And so that's very encouraging. Now that I've experienced it so many times over the last 20 years, it's very encouraging to feel that level of insulation from both our government, but also our economic drivers. And so we're very thankful. We're very fortunate because of that.
Yeah. And and then you, like you said, numbers don't lie. And the numbers right now are showing that you're so similar. Your market is so similar to the Seattle market up here. So I think we're going to see a lot of commonalities there. So now that we've got this out of the way, so my Seattle real estate agents and mortgage lenders in our community that are watching this, even though Ben is on the other side of the U.S., very, very similar markets. We're seeing multiple offers on every deal right now. Same thing up here in Seattle, very competitive. And so what I want to do in the remaining, let's say 5 or 6 minutes, share with me a couple of things that you're doing that are producing some of these results, if anything's changed from the norm. Yeah. But one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on is I know you personally are a producer, you're a leader, and you coach a lot of, you said 8 agents on your team. So you're coaching and you're mentoring them as well as core students. So talk to me about some of the things that you're coaching right now, some of the things you're doing right now to yield some of the results that you've seen in the last 4 weeks to 8 weeks.
So when the tornado came through, we lost power. I had to bring my whole team from my office. Now, keep in mind, I've got a 3,000 square foot office that my team comes and congregates in. I had to take them all to my house. So we had to adjust. We had to be super nimble, right? And so I set them down. I brought them all and literally set them down in my living room. And because of the tornado and everything that was taking place with that devastation in our market, like right in hand, I had to come up with a very intentional way of keeping focus, because that's really what this is all about, right? When crisis, when devastation occurs, generally lack of focus follows, right? And so I had to come up with something with my team very quickly to get them dialed in and focused. And so what I ultimately come up with is I asked this question: what is it that we have to do as a company to keep and maintain extreme focus in the times of chaos, catastrophe, right? And just simply confusion. What do we have to do? And I come up with 3 things, Dan. And these are the 3 things that I'm going to carry for probably the rest of my career. And it just came to me during some quiet time in the morning. But the first thing is this, is that we have to be crystal clear on what our priorities are when we wake up each day. So in the core, we have very, very fundamental, simple systems that we have in place. And when I think of our priorities in business as realtors, right, and as lenders, I think of the greatness tracker, right? Face-to-face, break breads, our talk tos, right? How we send out our videos, right? Our thank you cards, how we honor people. Those are the things that are our priorities each and every day. And that has to become an ultimate focus. And whatever it is during times like this that we normally would do in those areas of priority, we have to increase by 10, 15, 20%. So the first step is to understand what your priorities are and have them clearly defined. The second is you have to have a plan, right? If you start a business without a plan, you're going to die on the vine. It's just impossible to sustain, right? If you want to come through a crisis, if you want to come through times of devastation, times of uncertainty, you better have a plan. Now that plan is going to change a lot during the way, but you better have a plan. And so for us, once again, we established something called the perfect work week, right? And the perfect work week is where we theme out each day on what our responsibilities are that day. And then we break it down in half-hour and hour segments based upon how we prospect, the administrative duties that we do, right? Our personal time, right? And then times that we coach and train our team. And so we have something that we call the perfect work week. And that is our plan of action as we move forward. And what I did with my team is I had them adjust and create a new perfect work week from a normal based upon the things that we were facing. So that was the second step. And the third step is this, and I think this is what brings it all together, Dan. And I hope the people on this call understand the value that you're bringing to them right now, because what we tend to do in times like this is overcomplicate things. Yeah. Right? And so the third step is this, is you better know your passion. You better know why you're getting out of bed every day, and you better own it. So for me, my passion is to help other people find and fulfill their greatness. Not my greatness, not someone else's greatness, but their greatness based upon their skills and abilities. And so in order for me to do that, I have to be engaged at an extremely high level every day. So that is my passion. And so when you have that passion, it's easy to prepare a plan, and it's easy to understand what your priorities are. And when we do that, holy cow, it's a beautiful thing. But that is what I believe you can do to have extreme focus in times of chaos and catastrophe and confusion like we are dealing with right now.
So good, man. And that, my friends, is why I wanted Ben Wilson on this call. Number 1 and number 2, I've coached and I've presented on the Greatness Tracker and the theme days. And so if you're listening to this, watching this video, I will attach our Greatness Tracker that both Ben and I use, and as well as our theme days. Mine's a little bit different than yours, but very similar. Really love how you said you had a detailed plan around those theme days where you're auditing it hour by hour and making sure that you're staying the course there. But number 3, your passion. There's so many people right now that are packing up. They're hiding in their little shell, and they're not going back to what you said when we first started, which I absolutely love, and that's having intentional focus. I'm actually gonna quote you on that. That is absolutely incredible. When crisis occurs, most people lose their focus. Lack of focus follows. And so I love that, man. Okay, we've got about 1 or 2 minutes left, and I want to close with this. I have a lot of real estate agents, so there's experienced men and women like you that have been through, weathered a few storms. I've been in the mortgage industry since 2000. I got in 2008, which was a really rough time. There is a lot of real estate agents I work with up here in Seattle and mortgage professionals alike. This is the first storm they've weathered. So in addition to what you just shared, those three things, which is super valuable, any closing tips to people that are just entering and trying to weather their first storm in this business?
I will tell you this, that when you choose to become a realtor, when you choose to go out into an industry where every day you have to wake up and you got to go kill what you're going to eat for the day, I want you to understand this: you're a leader. Whether you decided it, whether you want it or not, you're a leader. You're a leader to your clients. You're a leader to this industry. And here's what I believe with all my heart. Leaders never follow culture. They always create it. So if you do not have an atmosphere or an environment that you love or that you are passionate about or that you like, then you have the power to change it. You have the power between the people that you surround yourself with and people like Dan who are willing to speak into you that have had success and are currently having success even in times like this. Yeah. So I would seek people like that out and spend as much time as I could with those people.
So good. So good. And yeah, and so many youngsters or people that are less than, 3 to 5 years in the industry, it's hard for them to shoulder, I'm going to be a leader. That's what I've been telling a lot of the agents that I work with right now. Create content, get out there, make video, show people that, hey, you're a lighthouse right now. This is what's happening in the markets. Hey, still multiple offers. There's a lot of people that don't understand. Like, I didn't know that your market right now in the Nashville area was on fire, that your numbers were double the norm. And so I think consumers need to hear that. And by us making content and sharing content, that's a form of leadership. Also, how you present yourself online is a form of leadership. If you're out there and being a doomsdayer and talking negative and bashing Trump or bashing your local government, it's crazy right now, Ben. We have a Democratic governor here in Seattle, and we have a Republican president. I log on to Facebook for 15 minutes and I see both bashing both. And I'm just like, pick your battles, but you have to understand as a leader, as a professional, if you're engaging in that, it's not great leadership. Focus on the positive, focus on what you're doing. And so, man, I appreciate you. This was way more valuable than I thought. I thought you were just going to give a couple of, hey, follow the greatness tracker and do this and that. This was so great, man. And I appreciate your time. And I know you've got to get to coaching because you coach on Thursdays. Any closing remarks, man?
I don't mean to interrupt you, but I would love to share before I step off here. And I'm going to send this to you, Dan, and I want you to share this with anybody that calls in and requests this.
Okay.
But, it's called 30 Days of Greatness.
Okay.
I created this at the beginning of April, and I challenged my team with this. And I will just tell you that one of the reasons that we are seeing a lot of this success is because of this exercise, this challenge that I presented to my agents and my team called the 30 Days of Greatness. And it's not something that the core has done. It's just something that we created on our team. And I would love to share that you can share that with your agents that are out there as well.
Oh, man, that would be so amazing. Thank you.
You got it.
Thank you.
You got it.
Perfect, man. Well, I'm going to let you jam. I really appreciate you, Ben, and keep being a lighthouse, my friend. Like I said, I've admired you for years. I admire your, you great family. You spend a ton of time. And that's the other myth. People think that successful people are buried in their business. You have a great family life. You have great quality of life. And I admire that a ton about you. Hey, if anyone has any questions about real estate in the Nashville, Tennessee area, I want you to reach out to Ben. I'm going to put this out on social media. And so hopefully maybe there's some people from Seattle moving to, my wife absolutely loves Tennessee. So maybe there's some people looking to buy there. And if you are, I'm going to put Ben Wilson's information below here. But hey, man, God bless you. I appreciate everything you've done for me and for all the real estate agents and lenders in the core community. Thank you.
Thanks so much, brother.
All right, man. Take care.